I'm wondering today what is on your pandemic playlist. What are you listening to musically during now 2+ months? What is it that you're listening to that gives you great joy and makes you smile and laugh and you see yourself grinning ear to ear? And what's the music that's tugging at your heart and causing you to weep and to cry? We need music, don't we? We need to sing during this time because sometimes singing and music allows us to feel things that our heads just cannot say. And often the music on our pandemic playlists are of both joy and sorrow, and they all go together. You can't really have one without the other because the ability to experience great euphoria is made richer and deeper because you know pain. And likewise, because you've known pain, you know what it is to rejoice when you have had a rhapsodic experience. So we need music. And in this service, primarily of music today, we're singing the faith. We're singing what it means to go hungry and to be well fed. We're singing of changed circumstances. This book that I just read, the book of Philippians, is one of the most affectionate of Paul's letters in the New Testament. And what makes it so remarkable is his circumstances are he's in jail, not knowing whether he's going to live or die, and yet in the midst of that jail cell, he is able to find joy. In 1901, English composer Edward Elgar composed a song for the coronation of King Edward VII. And it was to be music that was to uplift the people, and it was going to be filled with majesty and grandeur. He called it Land of Hope and Glory. Now, fast forward several decades later, and the circumstances with which we use that music is at graduation, pomp, and circumstance. That's what we call it. It's a line drawn from Othello, Shakespeare's Othello. Pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war is the quote. And so the circumstances of our graduating seniors is unlike anything they or we have ever known, really. So we say to Sidney Jernigan, Lainey Nisler, Ruby Partington, Jackson Snyder, Sarah Thompson, and Blair Ramsey. The circumstances of your graduation are such that we don't know what to say other than congratulations, and your achievement is not being forgotten. In fact, for all graduates, ours and others, we say that the achievement of graduating is a significant thing, and to have it ritualized in normal ways with da 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 da. We know that in your future there will likely be many other graduations. The circumstances of this year, however, cause us to find new rituals being understood as that which calls our attention to something that calls our attention to something else, which is that life, all of life, is one set of changing circumstances after the other. When we get in trouble is when we think that the way life is right now, good or bad, sheltered in place or not, is the way it's always going to be. When in point of fact, life is never the same. Sure, there are predictable patterns and predictable events and our responses to them, but the circumstances of life are such that we are always having to find our way to the next movement. C.S. Lewis once remarked, "Every seat gives the best view of something." And so, right now, the best seat isn't at Kenan Stadium watching the graduates march through, or at the Dean Dome watching the graduates march through to pomp and circumstance. The best seat now is really what it should always be, the seat of gratitude. And when gratitude is what underlies all the circumstances of life, when that's present, how can we keep from singing? How can we not make music? Thanks be to God. Amen and amen.